Alright, it's 2023, which means I have to start doing my yearly update videos that I've been doing for a while, a couple of years or so. Anyway, yeah, 2022, yeah, it was fine. I'm just gonna try and keep this short because I have a lot of other projects in the works. Yeah, Christmas time, yeah, I had a lot of fun there, chatting with my family and whatnot. Got some nice gifts, like this official Whisper the Wolf plushie, which will definitely look good with my Tango the Lemur plushie. I got a Kingsley's Adventure, which is this really obscure PS1 game, and I figured this would be a fun topic to do for Forgotten Media. And I also got these Crash Bandicoot 4 figures, which is pretty cool. Although it is a bit odd, because I've heard about how there's like a handful of Crash 4 themed merchandise, but for some reason they're only released in Canada. I went and got this bundle pack instead of trying to hunt down the individual figures. Yeah, it also means I have to sacrifice in getting the other mass in the figures, but I figured this box set would be a better way in getting at least most of the characters. But yeah, aside from Christmas time, I've mostly just been busy with marathoning Modern Doctor Who. I finally got back into getting into that. Yeah, it's interesting. When I first got into Doctor Who, that was during Matt Smith's time. So yeah, the 11th Doctor was my first Doctor. And then Peter Capaldi I was kind of on and off with, and then I just kind of lost track with the series. Although, when Capaldi started, that's when I decided to do the ludicrous thing by starting to watch classic Doctor Who. Yeah, back where it all began, and that's how I wasted 2.5 years in marathoning all 26 seasons of classic Doctor Who, plus the movie. It's been a long time since I watched them, so in terms of my favorite Doctors back then, in terms of classic Doctor Who, some of my favorites are Doctors 2, 4, 5, and 7. I do like the others, like 1, 3, and even 6. Yeah. Poor Colin Baker. He's a good actor and whatnot. It's just most of his stories just weren't really that memorable. But yeah, now I'm finally getting into a little more familiar with modern Doctor Who. So I got through Christopher Eccleston's run, which is yeah, I don't know. I think he's probably my least favorite of the modern bunch. And David Tennant, I remember that was back then people were always talking about this guy. Oh, David Tennant this, David Tennant that, Doctor Who. And I was kind of expecting that this guy would become, like, very overrated. But after finally getting through David Tennant's runs, like, yeah, it's fine. I like David Tennant and whatnot. And then I finally got to experience the full run of Matt Smith. And yeah, he's still my favorite and whatnot. I still always cry at the end of The Time of the Doctor, which was the last special that he did. And then I finally got to experience Peter Capaldi's run, and yeah, I like the 12th Doctor. It did kind of take a while. Like, the first run, he's kind of in this, kind of angsty, brooding mood, and then later on, he does start to lighten up. And then, now, currently, I'm at the 13th Doctor with Jodie Whittaker, and this is going to be interesting, because I have a little to no experience with this version of the Doctor. Hopefully I'll be able to get through her era and get that out of the way before the 14th Doctor started. Then I'll actually be fully caught up with the series, at least in terms of the TV show. Yeah, after that, I don't know, maybe I'll go watch Bluey. That might be a nice break from the Doctor Who marathoning. Yeah, I didn't know much about Bluey. I think I might have seen it back then, like when it started or whatnot, but I didn't pay much mind to it. And then recently I watched some out-of-context clips and then learned a little more about, like, the show itself. And it does seem interesting. It seems like it's one of those kids shows that's actually well-written so that adults can really appreciate, like, the themes they tackle and all the other stuff. So yeah, it's, might have to check that out, just out of curiosity. I know it has a fan base. It's, older audiences and whatnot, so it kind of feels like this is the new My Little Pony Friendship is Magic in a way. As for my own video work, yeah, I was very productive during 2022. Looking back, this was definitely another experimental year, because I was still trying to get used to using Adobe Premiere as my new video editing software. And there's, hiccups here and there, like the episode I did on the Wonderland comics. Yeah, the audio's not that great. So I'm not sure why. The audio kind of seems really random whenever I try to record stuff. But fortunately, I managed to get Adobe Audition, so now I use that to fix up the audio while doing the video editing. And then, of course, I got to have a lot of fun with the April Fool's videos, where I did this video where it's just a random collection of random skits and whatnot. That was just mostly me really experimenting on what I could really do with Premiere. And then, of course, I got to make my official YouTube poop, which is funny because it kind of used to be this running gag where, like, April Fools or whatnot, it would just be like, oh, YouTube poop, blah, 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 and it turns out, oh, nope, it's just an update video. So, yeah, it's all come full circle now. In fact, here's a really weird thing about that YouTube poop thing that I made. Like, most of the clips, it was just me screwing around with Rogers Vanderwide's old Sonic clips. And there's a segment in the video where I feature a clip from a really old Sonic Sprite video from Kudo17 specifically, from like, way back in the day of the olden days of YouTube. And after I posted that video, a few months later, Kudo17 posted a trailer for a new Sonic Sprite video, and that eventually came out. So now I'm just left wondering, was my action of featuring one of his videos in a YouTube poop somehow caused him to come back from the dead? It's a mystery and hell of a coincidence. What else happened? Forgotten Media's still going, getting the hang of it with the new program, new episodes. Hopefully this year I'll be able to get around to doing the 100th episode special. And, this was also the year when I started to create a new series that, of course, was Archie Sonic Character Files. I guess I was just kind of in the mood of trying to get back into doing something related to Archie Sonic again. So I felt like, well, maybe instead of going back to reviewing the issues, maybe I'll do something more interesting, like talk about the characters in the Archie Sonic universe. So when I was doing that, this was a series that was heavily inspired by Mr. Rogue's Forgotten Supervillain series that he used to do. So it definitely has that same format, I give the history of the characters and then talk about my own personal thoughts. When I first did Shard, I was really surprised at how a lot of people viewed it, because, nobody like myself that, just videos for a hobby, I only get, normally 1,000 views. And so this one really got a lot of views, a lot of people liked it. So I tried doing another episode, and then I'm like, this is a better option. So I got to have some fun with turning Archie Sonic Character Files into more of a full-fledged series paired with my Forgotten Media series, and I feel like this was the better option to go with, instead of trying to go back and reboot my failed Give Me Chaos Theory series. Speaking of which, 2022 was definitely the year of Sonic with all the stuff that we got. Yeah, the Sonic movie sequel, that was really good, definitely a step up from the first film. We definitely got a lot more Sonic figures made by Jakks Pacific, which I've been collecting, so I definitely have a handful of them. It is I've mostly been focusing on the 4-inch figures, because there's a lot of others that they've done, smaller size. It's no, I'm just going to stick with the 4-inch figures. They're the more interesting ones to me. Sonic Prime came out on Netflix. We finally got to see that show. Interestingly enough, I already gave my thoughts on the first episode on the Dissected Alive livestream series that I'm part of, so you got to hear my first impressions on that. But I did check out the rest of the episodes that came out, and so far, it's pretty good. It's definitely a huge step up from that Sonic Boom TV show. Blech. And of course, 2022 was the big year for Archie Sonic's 30th anniversary. And I got to really have some fun by posting daily facts on Twitter around that time, mostly in November, building up to the official day. And then I got to make my own personal retrospective on Archie Sonic to celebrate its anniversary. And that was fun. It was really nice to pull out the comics again and go through them and have some fun with it, Pretty good. And that was pretty about it. Oh yeah, and of course we can't forget about the most important thing that happened in 2022. That's right, the announcement that the Japanese version of Sonic X is getting the complete series Blu-ray treatment and getting released outside of Japan for once. Woo! Yeah, I was grumbled about how whenever there's official Sonic X DVD releases, there's never an option to watch the original Japanese version, as in my opinion, I find that to be a bit more of the better version. Then again, doing the Dissected Alive livestream series with Roger and the gang, I have started to notice that there are some moments that work better in the Japanese version, and other moments that work better in the English dub. But hey, at least the Japanese version's finally getting a physical release, getting released in the US. It does mean I have to have 2 separate Blu-ray volumes of Sonic X, but hey, it's still better than nothing. Let's see. Oh yeah, Crash Bandicoot talk. There's some good news and bad news with the orange marsupial. Bad news is the mobile phone game Crash on the Run is going to get shut down in February, and it's a real shame. I was really looking forward to the promised updates that they had talked about after they took a break from it after the Halloween update with Grumbler and all that. But time went on, nothing happened, and then they suddenly came out, it's like, you know what, we're shutting this game down. It's really depressing. It's kind of like CTR Nitro Fuel all over again, where they were giving us radio silence, and then eventually came out like, we're no longer updating this game and whatnot. Real shame. I really liked Crash on the Run. I would have loved to see this game get more updates. I remember the original map menu had these options, and whenever you clicked on them, it was event coming soon, blah blah blah, and nothing happened. And then later on they updated the menu to a more simplified design. So it's a real shame. At least one good thing about this game is that it did give some more obscure characters a chance to have the spotlight. Like, we got to have the pink elephant enemy, which was a scrapped character from Crash to Insanity. That was a surprise to see that. And of course, the big thing that happened was getting Mr. Crumb and some of his minions back. Those are definitely the more obscure characters of the Crash Bandicoot franchise. But hey, on the plus side, we are getting a brand new Crash Bandicoot game, which of course is Crash Team Rumble. Yeah, all the talks and rumors about the whole Wumpa League thing are finally put to rest. So here it is, Crash Team Rumble. Apparently it's going to be some kind of like PvP game or something. I guess like a more modern take on Crash Bash. Either way, I'm definitely looking forward to this game. I'm always going to be really in the more optimistic and positive mood when it comes to my boy Crash Bandicoot. And finally, there's the plans for the future for YouTube videos and whatnot. Let's see. Well, I'm still gonna try and work on Forgotten Media, get those episodes out of the way so I can work on the big 100th episode special. Ooh. Of course, I'll still be doing Archie Sonic character files. Recently, I just finished the scripting for the Cortez and Null episode. That's going to be interesting because these two are actually scrapped characters, so it's definitely going to be different from how I normally do these kind of episodes. And the other video project that I'm currently trying to get out of the way first is my Forgotten Media Christmas Specials retrospective. Yeah, 2022, I decided to take a break from the holiday specials because I decided to do retrospectives, mostly because 2022 was the 10th anniversary of doing that, and the October one was just 11 years, but I figured, we'll do that just to fill in the gap for the holiday stuff with Forgotten Media. So yeah, I'm going to try and get that out of the way before working on the Archie Sonic Character Files episode. Other than that, I'll still do the Dissected Alive live stream series that I'm doing with Roger and the gang. We mostly done Sonic X and Fleetway Sonic for most of 2022. So right now, we're jumping right into Season 3 of Sonic X, so that's going to be interesting because there are definitely huge differences between the US and Japanese versions. And of course, we'll still continue on with Fleetway Sonic and whatever random Sonic topics we talked about. Because like 2022 we did like manga episodes, we did the Sonic and the Tales of Terror story, we did one of that, and of course we also did the original miniseries just on the occasion for Archie Sonic's 30th anniversary. So yeah, I'll still be active with that bi-weekly series with Roger and the gang, just chilling out and joking about stuff. What else happened? I guess I might as well plug this in, but I did make a guest appearance in a fan-made documentary dedicated to the Lost Media Wiki community that celebrated its 10th anniversary. I was contacted by Scribble the Screen, who was making the video, as he cited me as like one of the earliest examples of someone doing Lost Media coverage before the site became a thing. And I was surprised. I did look this up myself, and yeah, my Forgotten Media series does predate the Lost Media Wiki community by like a year or so. But yeah, it's definitely a nice video to learn more about the site and how it was made and just Lost Media coverage people in general, because there's definitely a lot of people involved in that project. But yeah, I was definitely honored in being invited to make a guest appearance in that video. That's about it for this very unscripted update video, but I'll see you next time.